Welcome back to another episode of Pull the Chart. We were initially going to do a couple of the actresses from Stranger Things, and then poof, David Allen Harbour clearly wants to be the subject. So we are going to start with David, and then his wife, soon to be ex-wife, who knows, Lily Allen, and then we'll move into the rest of the Stranger Things peoples. So we're going to start with David. I will go ahead and pull up the chart, and then we can really dive into him. All right, here we have David Allen Harbour. He was born April 10th, 1975. And in White Plains, New York, we do not have a rising sign. But he is, believe me, we'll be able to get everything out of this chart without a rising sign. Like, I do not need a rising sign for him. Not necessary. So he was born in New York. Parents were in real estate. He mentioned that he went to college, he went to Dartmouth, studied like, I think, theater and Italian, and then he lived in New York City, and he did the underground gambling clubs, and all I kept thinking was the newest season of Only Murders. He did a lot of like theater, small parts. It was like he was always the extra actor, and he kind of had like a meltdown, like, I'm never gonna make it, blah blah blah. He went off, he stopped drinking at like the age of 25. And then with AA, they teach you about like kind of finding something spiritual. So he chose Catholicism and mystic saints, which he chose one of my favorite saints. So when we get down to like that part in his chart, I made me a little more softer around the edges towards him. Yeah. So we're not going to pass any judgment till a little bit later.
I think we're only getting one side of the story anyway. We have to
We
reserve
are. I think
judgment.
so too. And I have some thoughts on why he's not speaking out, and I don't think he's going to.
No.
I don't think he's going to at all. And I think it's for a specific, not even related to like what may have happened in the marriage.
Mhm.
So I'll give you my theory.
Okay.
All right. Since now I'm going to say you have a very similar chart. We have some of the similar lineups.
Yeah.
So where would you like to dive in first?
Oh, well, I mean, there's that huge stellium at the top of the chart in Aries.
Hmm.
He has a lot. That's a lot of Aries energy in there.
I kind of looked at this too as it's almost like this is one clump
Hmm.
and this is one clump,
Hmm.
because he's definitely an Aries moon, because even I always put it at noon when we don't know the time. So if you go
Right.
back, it would go down back to like midnight would be like a 2 degrees. You can think 6 degrees back and 6 degrees forward. So he would definitely be an Aries moon, and he's definitely a balsamic moon.
Hmm.
So you can't see his moon at all in the sky. So what did you think? Do you want to like break this apart? Which part do you want to do first?
Well, we could look at that stellium, and especially it's interesting, especially the balsamic moon.
Right.
So people born under a balsamic moon, they do tend to be a little more, I don't want to say introverted, but they are very private. They're very private, and they're almost, because it is the very last stage of the moon cycle. This is the culmination of the ending. They also say that balsamic moon people, they're done. They're done with this life, this go around, even. That's how. So they tend to be a little more mystical, I want to say. They tend to be a little more reflective of everything that's going on around them. So even though he has that heavy Aries stellium up
Mhm.
there, that balsamic moon is going to soften it quite a bit. I bet you could have some really deep, meaningful conversations with him with that conjunction with the moon and Mercury there. Um,
Yeah. The more I looked at his chart, the more I was like, yeah, I'd probably date him. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
I would,
yeah.
I was like, oh, we'd get along really well.
Hmm.
I was like,
I agree. I agree. I think there's more that meets the eye to him. You know, he does come across like this big, gruff, rugged, manly man, you know, but I do think that there's a lot of depth to him that people don't give him enough credit for.
I agree.
Mhm.
So he is bipolar, but he never really talks about it.
Mm,
So I looked at the Mercury, Moon, Jupiter first,
yeah.
right? Broad-ranging curiosity was really like the big thing, but I also
Mhm.
felt like he's probably a really good listener, which in conversations where you kind of like draw people in,
Mhm.
which I think is also very good for actives, but he's also like he's up for an adventure. He's interested in new ideas. But at the same
Yeah.
time, he could also be a little me first and maybe over rationalize his inner experience, which, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that.
I'm going to tag on to what you just said,
Mhm.
especially with the Pluto Venus trine. I do think he's a great listener. I do think
Oh,
he's,
yeah.
you know, I think you could tell him anything, anything, and I don't think he would pass judgment. I don't think you know, you would start to feel comfortable back in your own skin if you had that kind of conversation with him.
Yeah, I feel like that right there makes him like the rock in a
Mhm.
relationship. And I think
Mhm.
Lily Allen had made a comment about like being codependent, and it's really hard because who you were codependent with isn't there anymore. So he was kind of like her rock. So I think that really shows there.
Mhm.
So I also took this grouping and then I looked at it against that Pluto,
Yeah.
and the Pluto Mercury, right? Jealousy could be jealousy, impulsiveness, could be domineering or manipulative.
Mhm.
There's quite a bit in his chart about maybe potentially domineering female figures in his childhood, but there's not much about his childhood. So I don't really know how his relationship is. He could experience emotional blockages in one on one relationships. But
Mhm.
it made me think of the note he wrote her when she got the play. Do you remember the note?
Mhm.
Yeah, where he was like, we'll read it for our lovely viewers. My ambitious wife, these are bad luck flowers because if you get reviewed well in this play, you will get all kinds of awards and I will be miserable. And like his reaction or getting the play was like, well, you're going to have to audition, right? Like it just shows some of his like competitiveness, but also like,
Mhm.
whoa, the attention's off of me.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then I looked at the Jupiter opposing the Pluto, and I immediately thought, oh my gosh, he plays the chief of police. I was like really not agreeable with like accepted codes. He like want to create his own rules, his own laws. But then I thought too about being aware of where your strength lies, which is in the Pluto and relationships, and like how you can disarm like the other, which would be like that Jupiter person who's like so excited to be with you. I was like, ooh, this could get a little dicey. But then he's got that Mercury as well. That's, they tell it like it is. I don't like, oh, I the note from the play was more this moon. But yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, that Mercury, like you can convince others with your ideas and convictions. I don't like that could be played manipulatively or it could be a control thing.
Or, you know, I feel too, especially with that, it's an opposition. So, you know, what are you learning? What are you learning with your Pluto, David? Are you learning control? Are you, you know, and where is your power? Are you using your power for yourself? Are you using it,
For the
you know,
relationship, for the both of
in the
you.
relationship? Is it, you know, is there, you, you know, without knowing their story, you
Mhm.
know,
I know that was kind of an interesting grouping,
Hmm.
but this is also where he could do the most like transformation, right?
Hmm.
Because it's
Hmm.
Pluto there.
Yeah.
His son Chiron.
Reversed. Oh, it's in retrograde too.
So I okay, so right, Chiron and Aries has to do with identity, self-assertion, like leadership, but can
Hmm.
also make you feel like with the sun there, like feel like you're invisible, um, like you don't have the right to exist. And
Hmm.
this like, but when you're healing, you help others to find their own voice.
Hmm.
And then when we get to Lily's chart, I'm like, I think this plays into big time why he's not saying anything. Like he's letting her process it, and like he's almost kind of like helping her in her career a little bit. It's almost like it's like a creepy way to think about it, but I feel like it kind of starts to play in. But also like it can swing between this like dominance and passivity and struggling with personal boundaries and healthy self-expression. But then I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, but also he's bipolar, so he swings as well.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, this is a tough little lineup. But I feel
Hmm.
like as he's getting older, when you read some of the quotes and things, and I wrote some, um, there was a line in one of her songs, the let you, it's win or within, right? Her W with the slash IN. She says, I've become invisible, stuck here in my palace. I'm so effing miserable. In my rabbit hole, I'm Alice. And I'm like, which one of them is that?
Right.
Right? I
Mm.
like I part of me is like, I feel like maybe sometimes she plays the dominant, and maybe sometimes he did. Like I feel like this is she made a comment though. She didn't write she said not to take it as gospel, which that word we need to hold on to for a moment too. Because
Okay.
I think the religion thing comes up quite a bit throughout them.
Hmm.
But yeah, I really thought about that line and I was like, oh, I don't know which one of them. They're both stuck in their palaces.
Yeah. Especially
Yeah.
with Saturn and Cancer.
Okay, you want to talk about that guy? Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first I thought, oh, that's so interesting with his dad in real estate and that. Mm. So
Mhm.
that may tie into something as well. And I mean, Cancer is the sign of home, it's the sign of family, it's the sign of where do you feel safe in this world? And then you have Saturn there, which could be, building the walls of safety. It could be really restrictive in the home, a lot of rules kind of thing, even, you know,
Right.
it just feels very, very constrictive.
So, um, this is where another one of those like where it comes up like what happened in the early childhood,
Right.
or where comes some of the scars. But he talks about, and she does that song about Daddy's home. So he
Hmm.
loved being called Daddy David for like her kids. He really loved, and like even I think this past week he was out with the kids. I think he took them to Disney or something. Like so he like very much so feels responsible towards the loved ones.
Hmm.
And I just felt like this was, but also that Saturn, right? You need approval and love and home life. Your home life might be unstable.
Hmm.
There might have been like a lack of tenderness. Like I'm thinking about like real estate, the walls built, right? Like with
Hmm.
the parents.
Right.
And then those squares, like, was he lonely in a childhood? Did he
Hmm.
argue with his domineering parent? Was he unable to like, oh, okay, that Saturn, Jupiter? Could he recognize limitations? Like this, I think comes up too with like never feeling like you got recognized for your talent either. Right. Like,
Right.
'cause remember how he was like so mad she got that play. He's like, wait, you're gonna have to audition. And like he's been in the theater and always had to audition, right? I feel like this kind of peaks out. And I feel like that could trigger that Pluto down there.
Hmm.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
just like, I did think too, he made a line in like he did an article with GQ that he was interviewed in for like, I think it was It was not recent. It was like the last 2, 3 months. And at the end, he said, I'm learning how to swim in this. And I was like, okay, Cancer, whatever it is, learning how to float, learning how to not make it about me.
Mhm.
I was like, first of all, his quotes are his absolute chart. Yeah, that's Saturn though.
Yeah, I
That feels
agree.
cold, like it feels like a cold home.
It does.
You,
That's what
did
I
you
think.
did you watch their architectural digest tour of their Brooklyn home that they literally put up for sale right after she dropped her album? The $8
Mm-mm.
million Brooklyn home. So they did an architectural digest tour when they after they bought it and remodeled it. She mentions in a song, she drops the album like the next day or two, they put that Brooklyn home up for sale.
Why?
But well,
Mm.
right, I think that'll play into her chart too, which is like foundation
That
Emma.
is really sad. You're selling his safety. His
I mean, this was their home
that's
they built or they decorated together.
yeah, that's sad. That's really sad.
Yeah. So okay, can kind of want to jump to oh, I think I want to go to the Mars and Aquarius. I know I've like the Mars and let's go to the Mars and Aquarius, right?
Yeah.
Attached and intellectual, more thought than action. This is where the bullying thing I think comes in a little bit with maybe Millie, her accusation of like bullying, the alleged accusation of bullying prior to the start of the filming of this last season. It's because they like to be in charge, right? They can be very experimental and innovative. They're and like experimental, innovative sexually. Um, may lack a bit of personal touch, which I'm like, oh, if he's trying to give you feedback, right? Does it come off as harsh? Because you
Mhm.
don't actually know what the accusations were, right?
No.
Um, they can think quite revolutionary and feel a need to like overthrow like established ways. So I feel like also like not doing things in the traditional way is very much them. Also, his
Mhm.
bedroom had no windows. Did you know their bedroom in that brownstone had no windows?
That's
That's also very Saturn and Cancer.
don't let the light in.
Yeah. So that squares his nodes, but it made me think back to where he said he goes, okay, I'm going to literally read it to you. And this is where I think it plays into this. There's so many moments with them where I'm like, okay. He goes, I remember the exact moment. It was our third date. I was just in this phase where I was like, I'm just going to be brutally honest about everything because why lie? And I told her something about my life, about my beliefs, dot, 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 and said it would take a really extraordinary person to be accepting of the things that I said. And I remember thinking, wow, that's somebody I want to be around.
Mm.
I, so this makes me think of like when you're in new relationships and you ask someone like, what's your red flag, right? Or like, what's your bad thing? And they tell you, but you're like, ah, right? You know what I'm talking
I
about? Like,
think the word codependent came up earlier too. And
yeah,
if she is codependent, he's perfect for her in her mind. I can fix you. I can love you like no one else can in this whole world. And that's what I'm going to fall in love with. Not you, not
yeah.
you,
But this
but the
this
issue.
idealized version of what I've created of you in my mind, even though you've
Exactly.
literally told me your beliefs and maybe bad things you like to do that I'm not necessarily comfortable with.
Right. It's okay. I can change you. I'll fix you.
Day three, I'm still like cheery, cheery, right?
Yes.
Like, oh, I feel like there have been often overlooked red flags, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay, so my other super favorite part of his chart, which is where it would like hook me in, is that North Node in Sagittarius with that Neptune right there. Right? I don't
Yeah.
I he's very zen about everything going on, right? He one of his quotes was process. Here's the quote. For him, processing this is all part of an ongoing spiritual quest that began long ago, a conscious attempted acceptance, some kind of surrender. And I was like, how Neptune and Sagittarius, right? He's like, this is a jarring change. Like he's really zen about things. He's letting things go.
Mm-hmm.
So I never watched Stranger Things, but supposedly like the first time you meet his character, it said the camera pans across a crayon drawing by a daughter who they come to learn is dead. Hopper, hope that's how you say his name,
Yeah.
wakes on his sofa amid the disarray of his cabin with a blue hair tie around his wrist. And blue is the color of mercy. And I was like, oh, surrender, water, mercy. It's the first thing he glances at before the watch tells him he's late for work. And I was like, he was in like this mercy where you're kind of like maybe floating in a dreamlike state. And then like here comes Saturn time and it's like knocks you right out of it. I was like, oh my gosh, they really like, I think that first scene has way more meaning. I don't, maybe someone picked it all apart. I don't know. But I was like, oh, that's so interesting with like where he's kind of at in his life.
Yeah. He was a mess.
You say he's a mess or he's a
He
mess in the
was a
show?
mess.
Oh, in the
Yes.
show?
Yes. At the beginning. Yeah.
Mm. I don't know. I'd never watched it.
And then he found purpose.
Uh, It's important to
Yeah.
find purpose.
Yeah.
So so at he went to AA, right? He decided like Catholicism and mystic saints. I'm gonna probably mispronounce it, but she's my favorite. Teresa of Avila,
Mm-hmm.
Avila, right? Um, she's the one that was like immortalized in stone. She was the one that got ecstasy while an angel was over her, like spearing her heart because she was like all consuming love, like with God and this like level of like ecstasy. And I was like, okay, this really plays into like maybe he's trying to reach that state.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like the addiction thing, right? Like you're trying to get to that level, that
Right.
frequency. And I was like, oh, I was like, then you start to feel a little bad. You're like, oh God, he's like kind of dopamine chasing, right? Like he's trying to get to this high. Then his other one is Saint Augustine, who I guess is some type of a sex addict that called himself a slave of lust in his like
Mm-hmm.
written confessions. So I think he tried to go through like love and ecstasy to get this higher feeling, which feels so Neptune conjunct your North Node in Sagittarius.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where I was like, well, maybe if you had his chart, you would know.
Well, and then, yeah. And then I mean, you literally have a battle going on because it's all opposing its south node up there,
Yeah, and that
so you're going to have this battle for the soul, so to speak.
hmm yeah, I was just like, he's really interesting. I also wonder there's a 10-year about a 10-year age difference between them. And when we get to her, like she didn't finish high school.
Mhm,
So, and he seems like pretty like a little more intellectually read, kind of things like that. Like he went to college, he went to Dartmouth, right?
mhm.
So, I thought that was all interesting, and I feel like he's a little more complicated. Um, when they got, do you want me to pull up their chart for when they got married, the date?
Yeah,
Okay,
let's
so I'm
look
going to
at
pull that up.
them.
I'll do it as a tri-wheel. Okay, so here we have David. This is his tri-wheel. So this wheel is his natal chart. We don't have a rising. This is the progressions. And then on the outside, we have the date of their wedding, which they got married on a Monday, which is a malefic day because it's Mars. Maybe we don't do that. Probably why people don't get married on Mondays. So when I looked at this, his progressed moon over here.
Thank you. Where?
Can you see it?
Yes.
Right? How very rose colored,
Oh,
right? Right here, right? It's
yeah.
like, oh, isn't this going to be great? And then I looked at where's transiting Saturn. Here we have transiting Saturn, right? With the Pluto. I was like, I mean, it's in retrograde, but it's retrograde half the year. I don't, maybe not the cutest.
Is that would that be squaring his sun?
Let's see, 30, 60, 90. Yes, it would. It would do a lovely square to him.
Oh, and then Mars is also conjunct his moon.
Over here, this Mars.
Yeah, that Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 28. I was thinking, I was looking at the wrong number. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, it would
ah,
fit in here. I also don't necessarily love this idea.
no.
This feels like you're not this with this feels like you're not building on a solid foundation.
I feel like he was drugged to the chapel.
I mean, her dress was cute. I don't know if there was a
Her
chapel.
dress,
Was
her
there?
dress was cute.
That's all I got for you on that wedding day.
Well, that's lovely.
Like her, I'm just like, this is not. Please consult your local astrologer for your wedding
I
day.
agree.
We should go work in like churches and just be like,
Uh,
hey guys, let's, you guys they used to do like marriage counseling. Be like,
I
let's
was just,
charts.
I was just going to bring that up. What I think they need to add this with your.
Yeah, maybe more marriages would work if they knew from the beginning, like, this is where we're not going to see eye to eye.
Mhm,
This is
mhm,
maybe where we could focus and work on things.
exactly.
So,
And then what is this? His secondary progressed, his progressed son? Ew.
ill, ill,
Ew. Now,
ill. I mean, you're looking at, yeah, this is an
oh,
ill moment. I'm not getting married, first of all, with a Gemini sun on a south node.
no, no.
Talk about, like, first of all, it's Gemini, so it's writing. So she's literally going to, like, what, tip you over and spill out all your secrets,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That's what she did. Or supposedly did. Allegedly. We'll use the fun words.
Mm.
Yeah, not my favorite. Oh, and then, oh, don't forget about Chiron up here.
Oh,
Look at
okay.
this. Look at this. That's fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's also super fun. Let's just like stab ourselves and then maybe just shut off some skin while we're at it in a few layers.
And can we look at the Venus, the progressed Venus on top of his Saturn, his natal Saturn? Mama's
Yeah.
home.
Daddy's
Mommy's
home.
home.
Daddy's back, right? That's what her thing was like. Daddy's home. I made him dinner. He's so tired and jet lagged, right? Something like that was the lyrics.
Ugh.
Yeah, because daddy's, I don't know if this was the right move for daddy.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so let's go to the album release date.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, here is David on the Inner, his progressions. And then this was the album dropping of her verbally spewing everything. Um, how about that? Well, I think it's wide, but the progressed moon here. Let me circle things.
Yes.
Things I did not love. Ouch.
Yeah.
It's wide, but ouch. Out, that hurts. Like, especially with Aquarius being like, you kind of like, you don't really spill that stuff.
Mm-mm.
The progressed moon. Remember his moon when he got married to her was his progressed moon was here, and now the moon in the sky,
Yeah.
like getting revisited. This was the yuckiness coming here too, right? And then where's the transiting sun? Oh yeah, transiting sun.
Mm.
Let me tell all your bedroom secrets,
Yeah, it is.
all your taboo secrets. And then where is transiting Mars? Oh, yeah, this guy, which is just, I was just like, that was nasty.
Yeah.
Hmm. And then once again, Chiron is back up here for beautiful Chiron return.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Didn't love
transit, look
this.
at
Look at
transiting
this.
Uranus there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh,
Like, shouldn't have married her when this was on top of it, because guess what came out of it? Beep,
right.
beep. Yeah. Don't love this. And then, so Progress Venus was on the Saturn when they got married.
Hmm.
And now there's the Jupiter there, which should be lovely, but knowing where it's coming from,
Yeah, I
she's
mean, it
like,
goes either way. It just makes it bigger and
yeah.
louder.
She's like, now I'm going to tell everybody about our home troubles.
Right.
I'm going to make you the villain.
Yeah.
I don't really love this. He's been very quiet though. He's been very kind, if you ask me. Um, so one of his quotes is, all these things are way beyond your control, right? But of the things that you can control is your particular passion for storytelling, for art, for what you want to say, your voice, how you see the world. And I was like, he is letting her express it through this storytelling. Like there's like truths, there's emotional truths, and this is like her version of how she's ready to do it.
I also, listening to that, I also am thinking, well, it's a storytelling. So it's your version of truth,
Yeah, it's her version of the truth, right?
right?
And he's not saying anything, right? Like he finally
Um,
has this like recognition in the industry, right? I was reading he's starting to do some of these Marvel things. You know, you're sometimes I feel like in these situations you are better just being quiet. Let people
In
guess.
these situations, yeah, I
Yeah, let
say,
people think like, is he really that way? Ooh, is he really? Oh,
yeah.
interesting, right?
Mhm.
You're almost better to leave that air of mystery about yourself.
I don't know. I love it. I mean, I would hope I would have the same moral character to do that in this situation, like I have had people in my life and I'm like, oh, I just want to rip them wide open. And they're like, no, it's not worth it. And it just makes me look bad.
Right.
So they did it. I mean,
Okay. I feel like
respect for that.
but I also wonder too is since it sounds like the divorce is filed, right?
Mhm.
But having put that home up for sale, I want to see, does it sell faster now? Will it sell for more?
Ugh. Yes, of course it will.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. Should we go to Miss Lily Allen?
Yes.
Okay, we have Lily Allen. She was born May 2nd, 1985. She's 10-year age difference. In England, we do not have birth time for her either. Doesn't matter. Don't need it. So her parents, her dad was an actor and her mom a producer. Her dad, it just said left the family. I don't know how an actor just like disappears when she was 4. Okay. She went to 13 different schools, was expelled for drinking and smoking, and basically dropped out of school when she was 15. While she was in school, she was in the courtyard. Someone heard her singing, so they helped her with that. And she's like, I'm not doing a 9 to 5 job. I'm going to go this route.
Oh,
Okay. So here we are. We have a Taurus sun, and she's definitely a Libra moon as well. So, what were your first thoughts on this gal?
I am looking at that moon in Libra opposing Venus in Aries.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't get more complicated than that.
Moody, little
Oh,
gullible.
I'm gonna beat you up.
Also, like, can be really gullible.
Yeah, can be. Yeah.
I mean, like, can
Yeah.
misplace love and affection that can then lead to grief and unhappiness. Like, I put all my love into this person. So her
It's
background a
so,
little bit as well. We need to also remember that she wrote a book. She was married before, and in her book talked about how she cheated on her husband for multiple years in a row with like women in her band when she toured. Yeah. So it's not like this is a new thing, right? Like, we didn't forget that part. You wrote about it. And you seem
mhm.
to have like zero remorse for doing that to your husband. Yeah. So,
I think that would be that moon in
mhm,
Libra down there,
yeah.
trining Mars up there,
Yes.
which then, is really the ruler of that Aries Venus, So there's
There's some yuckiness.
yeah,
Mhm.
I feel like she pursues and conquers
Yeah.
and
So I
then
was looking.
suddenly, what?
What do you mean it's not going
I'm
my
the victim
way?
in here. Wait a minute.
So I was started with like this here. Oh, and I was like, okay, Chiron, fear of
Mm,
judgment, not being smart enough. And I'm like, high school dropout.
mhm,
I had to like go back and look at her early childhood. I'm like, did she, because based on some of her stuff, I was like, did she drop out? Did she finish school? Like, I had some questions early on. Um, a wound around communication, around learning, intellectual expression.
mhm.
Her music is not exactly very deep.
No,
Like, the songs are like 2 minutes long. And it's like, there's not a whole lot there. I was like reading through the lyrics. I'm like, okay, this is like me having a short thought. I think our episodes are longer than I think her album. Um, but this so here, this Chiron though, it's all about by finding your work, like you can be a great author, right? Like if you find your voice, she has to
mm,
find her voice. And this is where I feel like it ties into maybe David was supposed to be like a mentor, like they say, lesson lover, lifetime. I don't think he's a lifetime.
no.
I don't think he was. And then this Mars here, right? Straightforward speech, this sense of liberty and justice, which I think is like, it's very me focused to me.
Mm,
Sexually, not necessarily always forms deep relationships. They can be a little artificial and may need more than one partner.
right?
I was like, wait, you did that with your first husband,
Hmm.
right? And then, so this here, and then I looked at here we have over here. Okay, so this Mercury with here with Jupiter, it makes you can be very witty, right? Like
Hmm.
words are weapons, which Aries, right? And I'm like, can be competitive with sarcasm.
Oh, could you imagine the two of them? That's where
I
his
If
Mercury
I
is.
were
He's
him, I
got,
would just I would use really big words. Just be I'd make her Google all the time.
well, that's probably what happened.
I mean, in the end, after she like
Yeah,
did something like this, I'd be like, oh, well, there we go.
yeah.
That's a very negative expression. I apologize. Um, yeah. Also, like she's got this like North Node and Sun here. Like she can be like persistent, right? But she has to like take time to adjust to new ideas and can excel in music and art, great. But she really needs to build a firm foundation, like a firm financial security foundation, which made me think I'm going to be quiet. Let's put the house up right after you do this. Maybe in the divorce, you get the house and the proceeds.
Yeah, but look
Because
what it's opposing.
It's opposing the, well, it's opposing the, it's too wide to be opposing the Saturn.
Right. But it's still opposing. It's a loose conjunction, Saturn against the North Node. Honey, you're not going anywhere because you're not allowing yourself to grow. You're just going to stay stuck right there.
Yes. She's, yeah, I feel like this is terrible to say, but I feel I would like to know if does she end up with, because she mentioned in the song when they bought the house, she was like, oh, this is a big stretch. This is very expensive. Like, could she afford it?
Hmm.
Kind of thing. So, which also, are you starting to realize, like, I thought these superstar actors and people had way more money than they actually do.
Oh, well, I'm deciding they don't.
Yeah. Jeez. I think some of the influencers are doing better than them. Okay. Oh, so this moon, okay, so the moon trine Jupiter, you can be attracted to a Jupiterian type man, which would be his like North Node and Sag. I was like, I think he was like in her mind, like you said, like this ideal
Hmm. Yeah.
foundation and codependent on him. But I don't know if she actually like listened and comprehended everything that was being said to her.
No.
Yeah. 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 So she said things like, I just want to meet your needs. And for that reason, I revert to people pleasing. I was like, seriously? This is here.
Hmm.
Um, was the other one? Oh, in one of her songs, she wrote, you're just a little boy looking for his mommy. You're broken. He just wants attention. He can't really do attachment. Sweetie, neither can you.
Oh,
I mean, these are like mean things to put in there. And sometimes we need to like put the mirror up, like in Gemini, we put the mirror up, and sometimes the hurtful things we're saying is really a reflection of how we feel.
well, I've always been that too, Thou protest too much. So the louder you're going to be saying this stuff, the less I'm going to believe everything.
Yes. Right?
Hmm.
Yeah. It's interesting because she has this sextile here too.
Hmm.
So between like Uranus and so she too, if she tapped into that, doesn't really like to be tied down to conventional either.
No.
So it's like I'm gonna say one thing, but I might not necessarily feel it. Or maybe she was okay with it in the beginning and they had boundaries and he crossed those personal boundaries, which we know is in his chart to potentially do. But
Hmm.
it probably comes back to how well are you two communicating?
I don't think you heard him.
I don't think you heard me.
I think he, with all that Aries up there, told you the truth. I told you
Yeah.
the truth. I told
Yeah,
you.
because they don't, yeah, they just spit it out, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it's interesting too because this Jupiter here squares her nodes. Like she should be
Interesting.
respectful of others' views and receptive to like ideas, but it depends on, I guess, if you hear them
Hmm.
properly or like what's the effect on you.
Right.
But then this can come across as like tactless. And I was like, well, these songs aren't exactly lyrical masterpiece. Yeah, I'm a little, I don't know who her friends are, but I think I would have maybe hugged her a little more.
No,
And
that
said,
might
you know,
lead
why
to
don't we just
something.
talk this out for a little bit?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So she has Jupiter square the sun,
Hmm.
overindulgence, lack in moderation, alcohol, the smoking, can be egotistical and act as you please.
Hmm.
Feels very so she within 10 days of them separating in December, she created this album, right? So that's very much this Mercury trine Uranus, right? Able to do things very fast. She needs freedom and originality. Um, how about the fact that she just has the sex drive that is impulsive, anyways? Like
Hmm.
she's done some things too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And she's admitted that,
Yeah. She wrote about it.
so.
And then we have this fun guy. We do love Neptune with these guys, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Right? Escape, abuse, alcohol, rose-colored glasses.
It's retrograde. I was just looking at all the retrograde action in her chart.
So both of them have all of their outer planets retrograde because I noticed that as well.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right? So like
Huh.
it's almost like I'm like because that's the collective portion of like you two haven't really mastered how to like talk about your person in public.
Right.
Yeah. Um so so I don't know, we can pull up the wedding and stuff. She made the comment like, don't take all of this as gospel. She's recently taken a photo where she was in a nun costume, like a short, slutty nun. And she makes the comment like, you made me the Madonna. I wanted to be the slutty one, right? The whore. Um, and then he had made a comment in one of his like interviews about nuns. Those effing nuns are brutal. And I started to look down here at all this Scorpio here and how Scorpio is so much about sexuality.
Hmm.
And then there was interviews where she's like, "Oh yeah, he asked me to do some things," and I was like, "No," in the bedroom, and I was like, "Did he see you as the prude?" Because it's Saturn, the South Node.
Hmm.
I'm like, and then she comes out in this like nun outfit, and I was like, "Okay, either you two are like really online with your marketing, or she said no to some." And then she made a comment about like, "Oh, did I?" And she has some podcast, I guess. And she made a comment like, "Oh, am I kink shaming him by like saying no to things?" I'm like, I don't know if this is a conversation for everybody until you two can figure out how to be intimate with each other. But I was like, I looked at this and I was like, oh, is this the
Well, look
nun
at,
costume?
yeah, and go back to our previous comments about the saints that he chose, for his healing, the saints that he chose. To me, it feels there's cruelty on so many levels in this marriage that I don't know what he did, because he's not talking about it, but your actions are cruel.
I also don't know which one, if you're talking like BDSM, which one is the dominant, which one's the submissive, or
Right,
did they just
right.
switch roles every once in a while?
I feel
I'm kind of wondering if like he might have been like, because she was like, you're just looking for a mommy, right? And I'm like, maybe he's the less dominant one.
Mhm.
I don't, I mean, their bedroom of this architectural digest, like tour home, I mean, it's pink. Like it's like pink satin sheets. You need to go like watch the tour.
I'm I got to.
But yeah, I'm like this, for me, this like as soon as I saw this Scorpio down here, and I was like, that feels like repressed sexuality or something, which is
Yeah.
not typically what we think of Scorpio, right? And especially since Pluto is in retrograde too,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? I don't know. Those were some of my thoughts, right? Let's pull up their wedding date for her. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Inside wheel is Lily. Middle wheel is her progressions, and the outer wheel is her wedding date to David. So they were married on that Monday. The this here, I thought this felt very transactional. I don't know why every time I see like Mercury sometimes it just feels a little well, they did like a Monday wedding, right? It's on a business day. Go ahead, shake your head. Nope, don't like it, do you?
I don't like it.
Mm-mm. Transiting moon is up here.
Hmm.
Okay. It is on her sun and north node. I don't hate that, but I don't love this. Like,
No.
this should be like a new fresh start, but it's like gonna come with like a zinger, which she got, right? I mean, you got Mars over her progressed Venus here. Yeah, I just, oof, didn't love. Where is her? Okay, that's not terrible. Okay, can handle that. She does have the north node in the sky is close to her own progressed Mars. Oh no, wait. This is within 10 degrees of that moon. That feels not great. So Saturn on
Mm,
your moon, guys, can make you feel like depressed. It can like kind of like squash down your emotions, especially when your progressed moon is in Aquarius, your emotions go through your head first. So it's
mhm,
almost like a stone weight is like Capricorn is like,
right.
yeah, not the day I'd choose.
No.
Oh, oh, we love Chiron. This wounded healer is, I mean, in the end, his Chiron in Aries is helping her find a voice and helping her with storytelling. I'm telling you, mentor.
Yeah.
I think more of like this was a lesson. We really need to find a nice, happy chart of couples.
Yeah, we haven't seen one yet.
Nope, not at all. Haven't seen one.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So let's move. Do you see anything else?
No. I think we
No, you're
hit
just is
all the
not
high
pretty.
points. Not
Ooh.
good.
Okay, let's go to the album release date. All right, we have Lily on the inside here, transits or progressions for her in the middle wheel. This is the album release.
Hmm.
Here we go. First thing I saw was,
Yep.
oh, oh,
Yep. That's exactly what I was drawn to.
right? This just feels like that Madonna comment. And then she just did a photos of her in like a nun costume. I feel like this is, I don't know, like not great. I mean, cute album, but it literally the songs are like 2 minutes long. This to me also doesn't give that we are really working on this Chiron very well,
No, no, it doesn't.
right? So I feel like this just like I'm gonna come out with this like vengeful thing, right?
Hmm.
Her progressed moon. Ooh, I had this hopes and dreams of our fantasy fairy tale life. You didn't deliver it, and now I'm gonna cut you with my words. Yeah. Now who's your damn WHORE? And then I don't know if you saw she dressed up for Halloween as Madeline, the school character. Like promote I would assume this is like an album promotion, right? Because she keeps calling the girl Madeline. But also the girls, I guess some of them may have been significantly younger than him, which I don't know if she knows like men get older, but women stay the same age. That's terrible. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope this does really well for her. You're really looking for, I don't know, is it going to do well for her? I mean, the sun is on Pluto when it was released, so maybe it feels a little bit like this is a transformation for her. Maybe she's working on her storytelling. The North Node, well, no, she doesn't even have like nothing's really hitting up there with by her North Node and Sun.
It just looks like a flash in the pan to me.
Yeah,
With Uranus up there on her own Mars and Chiron,
mhm.
that's just like an outburst. It just feels like a outburst. The
I
Scorpio with
yeah.
Mars, Mercury, and the Moon, with Saturn and the South Node, you aren't growing. You aren't growing there. It just looks petulant.
To me, this album screams, I'm gonna headline Lollapalooza
Exactly. And I
or
just
some
don't
other music festivals, but this is not a stadium tour album.
know. No,
Mhm,
it just looks like I'm hitting the high chair,
mhm.
really.
Yeah, which if David would listen, just keep your mouth quiet. You're gonna come out fine.
Exactly.
Mhm. Electric. Well,
Hmm.
thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, follow along. Tell us what you see in the charts. Give us your thoughts on the Lily David thing. Are we taking sides? Are we not taking sides? Are we all like hoping that he stays quiet? Let us know your thoughts. Your opinions matter.
They do.
They do. They do. All right. Thanks. Bye.